I'm talking to Steve and Analisa, who are student experience managers. So, Analisa, I'm going to start with you. What is your role all about?
I think my role is making sure that students have a point of contact if they've got real issues, perhaps issues that their own tutor can't resolve, and have knowledge of what service we offer to students, just to make sure that they're happy and we provide a good service to them.
So very much about the contact and making sure that happens as and when it should. Is that the same for you, Steve?
Yeah, very much so. I think I'd sort of describe our role a bit like a GP is to the NHS. So you don't go to your GP for specialist advice or whatever. You go to find out you've got a back problem, a leg problem, whatever, and then if it needs specialist service, that's a way in. And that's our equivalent role in the university, really. So a student or a tutor can get in touch with us and say, you know, I'd like to, appeal my TMA score or something. How do I do that? Or I've fallen down the steps and I'm in hospital. How am I going to get my TMA in on time? So it's that point of contact, and we're there to find our way through the university structures and processes to help the student really optimise their performance.
So it's really about managing this whole process then. But the first part of your job title, which is student experience, I guess is the key to it all. And I wonder if you could tell me what that word means to you, Steve.
Well, the whole idea of the student experience is to make it both an enjoyable and a worthwhile experience for the student, so that they're having fun, but also they're achieving their goals and aims. And that's our role, is to help that happen. So we do it principally through the tutors as much as anything, and offer a lot of support to the tutors. So we're the first port of call for the tutors, and if they can't resolve any issues for any of our students, then the students could either go through the tutor and they come to us, or the student could come straight through to us.
And Analisa, would you say that it's just about the learning experience that's sort of important in terms of the student experience, or are there other things that also matter in terms of people's overall experience as students?
Yeah, I think there's a whole spectrum of things that cover student experience, from maybe the student's very first idea that they may want to study with us. They don't know what that entails, so then they can contact student recruitment services, find out a little bit more about what we can offer and the flexibility. And then taking that student through the very first module when they're perhaps really nervous, building their confidence, and then progressing them up through level 2, level 3, or whatever level they need to achieve, so that they come out with the qualification and they've built their confidence and also their employability, hopefully.
So then in terms of the practicalities, how do you actually go about doing this?
I think in our roles we're very lucky because we can be really reactive. So if we see that students are struggling, and that might come through the tutor who contacts us, we can put on additional support for the students. We can contact students via email. For example, if we notice that students have perhaps been talking on a forum and are struggling with something, we know more about the module, so we can send out information to the students to try and clarify things. For example, if they're working on an assignment, if they're struggling with a specific aspect, then we can address that.
Are there ways that you can be proactive as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we are, and we do send out notes and notices to students to let them know, you know, your TMA's due next week or whatever, are you on track and all this sort of stuff. And we also remind students that yes, they can get a lot of additional help and support that Analisa's mentioned. So if they are struggling with course modules or concepts in particular, they might ask for additional help from their tutor, and their tutor can then come to us and we'll basically say, yeah, that seems a great idea, offer that additional. It could be one-to-one support for a student, for example. So yeah, we are very proactive as well as reactive in the sense of if a student comes straight through to us, then we'll respond pretty quickly in terms of hoping to resolve that problem. But yeah, we try and get ahead of the game as well.
So you must have a very good idea, both of you, about what students struggle with. What advice would you give to students who are just starting out now?
Please, please, please get in touch with, firstly, your tutor, and secondly, with your student experience manager, probably via your tutor actually, but you could find our names and who's supporting you relatively easily. But don't sit there stewing, thinking, oh, I'm really struggling, or it's all going horribly wrong, or I can't cope, or whatever. We are here to help and support, and that is our job. So we're kind of waiting for you as students, so to speak, to pitch in. Don't hold back.
What advice would you give?
I would echo that completely. I think it's really important that students do stay in touch with us, talk to their tutors, but also take advantage of the opportunities that we give students to give us feedback. So we have something that's called a student consultation forum. So we invite students and we want their take on their study so that we can make things better for them. So I'd like to get students involved and take an active part of their own study.
Excellent. Steve, Analisa, thank you very much.
Thank you.